This program is sponsored by Dave Stahl.
It's time to get educated on your Second Amendment rights. It's time to get locked and loaded with 2 full hours of gun sports radio. Your hosts, Dave Stahl, Joe Germisi, and Michael Schwartz, will teach you anything and everything there is to know about firearms, self-defense, and the laws that affect your American right to own and bear arms. Visit gunsportsradio.com with your questions and comments, or to learn how to become a guest or sponsor of Gun Sports Radio. Now, here are your hosts, Dave, Joe, and Michael.
All right, folks, welcome back. You are listening to Gun Sports Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
As a stand-in. Michael's in the box, so we didn't get a chance to have him do it.
That'll teach you.
Yeah, that'll teach you. Hey, folks, California assault weapon laws make it almost impossible to own an AR pattern rifle. What's the solution? Cali Key. It'll convert any mil-spec direct impingement AR pattern rifle into a straight pull bolt-action rifle so it can have all the features without being considered an assault weapon. It's a true drop-in solution. No milling, no aesthetic modifications, and no turning off your gas system. Keep your entire AR collection intact at a price you can afford with Cali Key. Check out Cali Key at calikey.com. That's KALIKEY.com. And if you have legal matters that involve anything gun-related, you need to call the DIllon Law Group. Attorney John DIllon will chat with you about red flag laws, gun registration, gun transportation, and storage. Call our trusted firearm attorney John DIllon at 760-642-7150. That's 760-642-7150. Or you can visit his website at DillonLawGP.com. That's DillonLawGP.com. Let John do the gunning for you.
Actually, we're gonna talk to John right now. As a matter of fact.
Oh, he talked you into it, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he's got it. He's got kid duty. That's what that's at. Mr. DIllon, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Oh,
Fantastic.
Living the dream. Living the dream. What do you? So you were so fired up last week, man. We just had to bring you back on this week.
Well, yeah, and unfortunately, there's even more I can talk about where I can be fired up. So yeah, just the quick recap of last week. We had, I was talking about 10 different Second Amendment cases that were in front of the United States Supreme Court petitioning for review. All 10 were denied, and in one of the in denying one of the cases, Justice Thomas, along with Justice Kavanaugh, wrote a dissenting opinion, which really highlights some major problems that, the lower courts, the Court of Appeals, and the district courts and the state courts are implementing, which is they're applying the wrong standard to the Second Amendment when it comes to your constitutional right to keep and bear arms. So I highly encourage people to go look up Thomas's dissent in that. It's 18 pages, but it's a great read, and it does do a very good job in just illustrating the fact that this two-step, I think they call it the two-step tripartite binary sliding scale test, is not a test that was used in Heller. It's something that the Court of Appeals have made up when they're determining the scope of what the Second Amendment protects, and it's time that the Supreme Court take up a Second Amendment case and really put this issue to bed.
What does that mean? It's not the scope. What does that mean to the? Explain that to me like I'm in fifth grade.
Oh no, you're talking to me.
Yeah, explain that to us like you're talking to Dave Stahl.
Right.
So I gotta really break it down then. Okay. So when there is a Second Amendment challenge in the court, someone's claiming that a law or regulation is unconstitutional. The courts have a test to determine. All right, is this issue, I'll say an assault weapons ban, for example. Is an assault weapons ban a constitutional law or is it an unconstitutional law? They have a, quote, test that they apply to determine whether or not these laws are covered and protected by the Second Amendment or are not covered by the Second Amendment and therefore, constitutional to ban. And in Heller and subsequently with the decision in McDonnell, we have the Supreme Court and Justice Scalia laid out a pretty simple test. And the district court judge from the Southern District of California, Judge Benitez, who everyone has become a big fan of in recent years.
Yeah, Saint Benitez
has given us some very well-rationed and reasoned decisions when it comes to the Second Amendment. Essentially, he said it's called the simple Heller test. Hey, we're going to look at the text, of the Second Amendment and what it means and what it meant when the drafters wrote it. And then we're going to look at our laws historically during the time the Second Amendment was implemented and see whether or not, they had they imposed similar restrictions and laws on our rights back then. Is there a historical pedigree, basically, for enacting such laws? And for the assault weapons ban, these are all extremely new laws and regulations. These bans, they didn't regulate guns because they had a plastic grip on them, back in the day, and it didn't matter how long your musket barrel was. No one cared.
Okay, so that's a good. So there are three lawsuits basically going on that Californians care about most. I would venture to say, one of them is the assault weapons ban that we're trying to overturn. One of them is the ammunition registration ban, and one of them is the magazine ban. So apply the Heller test. So you already started down that road. Apply the Heller test to the assault weapons ban in California.
Yeah. Okay. So with the assault weapons ban, to put it simply, is there in the Second Amendment, there's no disclassification or distinction between different types of arms. It is the right to keep and bear arms. It doesn't say you have the right to keep and bear some arms or only these arms or, some certain subclass of arms that we decide later on. So the text is pretty clear. You have the right to keep and bear arms. Historically, firearms have not been regulated by their largely cosmetic features that have no significant, application or difference when it comes to how the gun functions. So when you start implementing laws that regulate a gun because it has a plastic grip at a certain angle, or it has an adjustable stock, or has a vertical foregrip so you can hold on to your gun better, that's not something that has any historical pedigree when it comes to regulation of the Second Amendment. And the last thing is, whether or not the guns in question or the products, even because, this applies to magazines as well, are they in common use? Is it a commonly used weapon in this country? And the AR or the AK or any type of semi-automatic rifle platform, that is probably the number one gun being sold right now. So yeah, it's in common use, and that's your simple Heller test. Therefore, they're protected by the Second Amendment, and the laws are unconstitutional. And that's a very simplified version of it.
Right.
But there you go.
Your 1 minute version. And then real quick, obviously, if the magazine test, the test for the magazine lawsuit and the ammunition lawsuit, those two things, a magazine and ammunition, are a crucial part of a firearm. It's not like it's an optional accessory that makes the firearm pretty. You have to have a magazine, you have to have ammunition, otherwise it's really not a firearm. Is that a good 10-second synopsis of why those two are unconstitutional?
Yeah, same thing. So because we have the right to keep and bear arms, we also have the right to actually be able to use those arms. And you need magazines, you need ammunition in order to bear your arms and use those arms. So courts have already ruled that ammunition and magazines, they fall under the Second Amendment scope as well.
Awesome.
All right, buddy. Hey, you did a great job, and you kept it within the time frame. Fantastic. All right, man. Hey, talk to you later. And again, folks, if you ever have a gun question or a gun concern, do not take it upon yourself. Go to DIllonLawGP.com. or call direct Monday through Friday, 760-642-7150. Thanks, buddy. Talk to you later. Folks, this is Gun Sports Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
Stay cocked. There's more Gun Sports Radio with Dave, Joe, and Michael to come on The Answer San Diego.
All right, folks, welcome back. You're listening to Gun Sports Radio on FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
The voice is back, folks. Hey, what's the best defense for self-defense in those horrible new red flag laws? Firearms legal protection. Mike, Joe, and I use them. Firearms legal protection is a legal defense program for lawful gun owners with a 24/7 emergency hotline and plans designed specifically for the firearms owner. Call Firearms Legal Protection today. That's Firearms Legal Protection at firearmslegal.com, or call them at 469-310-9100. That's 469-310-9100. Also, home mortgage interest rates have dropped, and if you're looking to buy or refi, or if you're considering a reverse mortgage, call the local mortgage guy that you can trust. Call Chris Wiley at PRMI Mortgage. For nearly 25 years, Chris has been helping local San Diegans with all their mortgage needs. Give Chris a call at 619-722-1303, or just go to primeres.com/Alpine. All right, who we got next?
We got I'm gonna refer to him as he's got a lot of titles, but his newest title is my new best friend because he works for he's actually a director and senior product manager for Magpul, which is a very cool company. We got Jon to come on to talk about Magpul. Jon, are you there?
I am.
How you doing, Jon?
Great. Can you guys hear me okay?
I can.
You sound wonderful.
Yep, perfect.
Perfect. I'm surprised. I'm in my basement on a headset. Normally I would be on I've got an internet phone, but our internet's been down for 2 days, which I didn't know was going to be this difficult on me.
Oh, geez. So. Nope, you're good to go. You're in the bunker, and we can hear you perfectly, so it's good to go. So for those who have been living under a rock, tell everybody exactly who Magpul is.
So we are one of, if not the largest manufacturer of firearms accessories in the world. We are definitely the largest magazine manufacturer. So that's what we're most well known for is our PMag. But we've got over 600, I believe, active products that you can buy now, and another couple hundred over the years that have been updated or life cycled. So there's a pretty good chance if you own a modern firearm, you probably have a Magpul product for it.
Yes, I do. Yes, I definitely do. Yeah, you guys are you basically reinvented AR magazines. Is that an overstatement? I don't think it is.
I don't think it is at this point. No. It's basically taken over. It's the standard issue for the U.S. Marine Corps, our Gen M3 30-round AR magazine. And then the rest of the DOD followed suit shortly thereafter. And, by and large, the PMag is the mag they're buying today for the AR. And from there, the rest of the magazine line just grew to Glock mags, AK mags, bolt action magazines, G36, AUG mags for foreign contracts. I know I am skipping a few. But,
well, how did you was the PMag, was that your first big product, or how did you tell us a little bit about the history of Magpul? How did you guys start, and what were some of your first products?
Absolutely. The first Magpul product was actually the Magpul. Rich Fitzpatrick was the founder of Magpul. He was a former recon Marine, and he was working at IBM, and he had an idea for a rubber loop that would replace the 100-mile-an-hour tape and 550 cord on a GI magazine, which is what guys were using to retrieve them from their pouches in the military. So he wanted to refine that and give it some added protection when it drops and keep the magazines from slapping together in the pouch. So in 1999, he left IBM and started Magpul, and he was the only employee for 3.5 years, and then Doug Smith was his first hire, and Doug still runs the company today. But for those first few years, the rubber loop that you would put on your mag, which was rendered largely obsolete by the PMag and the Ranger plate that we make for that, was kind of how the company got started.
And so the big difference I remember back in the 90s when I bought my AR, all my mags were the metal, the old school metal GI, and that really hadn't changed since the 60s. I mean, since the beginning of the AR. So what was how did he make it work? Why was because you guys use synthetics, right, to make your magazines? Correct me if I'm saying something inaccurate, but you guys use a synthetic, like a plastic, to make your magazines, right?
Yeah, it is an injection molded glass reinforced nylon. It's a proprietary blend that we work with a few major polymer development companies that's their specialty, is reinforced polymer. And over the years, we've refined that formula. But actually, you wouldn't have the PMag without Magpul's first collapsible carbine stock. The CTR, which everybody's probably familiar with if you're an AR owner by now, it's come to be kind of one of the staples of AR stocks. But they developed a new polymer for that product. And when they did some material testing on it, they looked at it and said, this stuff's actually performing better than we could have hoped. And it's almost good enough you could make a magazine out of it. So they designed the magazine and started refining it, and the rest is history. So, and you guys make hand guards and basically every accessory I can think of for an AR, stocks and you name it, right? I mean, you guys are all over the place when it comes to ARs, and including you guys make stocks for like bolt action, like Remington 700s and that sort of thing. I mean, all kinds of stuff out there, right? Sure. I think in development or already released on the market, we've got right around 50 stocks. Everything from super compact AR carbine stocks through a fully featured ambidextrous bolt gun chassis for Remington long and short action 700s, and about everything in between.
That's awesome.
Shotgun furniture, other bolt action fitments in our Hunter line, which is a lower price point that still retains a lot of the features. Precision stocks for the AR. The first product Magpul actually made after the Magpul itself was called the M93 stock, and that was fielded to the Marine Corps' first Special Operations Unit, Tet 1, and that's when we got into the other than Magpul's game, and from there the line just grew. Something we probably couldn't recreate now, even with all the same ingredients, was the expiration of the assault weapons ban for most of the country.
Yeah.
You guys probably remember the AR market was starved for product, and all of a sudden it was just open playing field for anybody that wanted to get into it. And there's definitely a right place, right time element, and just a lot of opportunity for the early guys at Magpul to release really a ton of product in just a short amount of time, and to a very hungry market.
And now Magpul, there's a lot of different ways. You put handguards on your AR, and there's a lot of different ways to put accessories onto those handguards, flashlights and foregrips and all kinds of cool stuff. Did Magpul favor a particular design, like M-Lock, or which way did you guys go, or do you have products for that go always when it comes to attaching accessories to your AR?
So Magpul released one of the most widely accepted attachment standards when they released the Mo line. The original Mo AR handguard had a negative space attachment system, which was essentially a cooling slot in the side of the handguard that was standardized, and you could take the handguard off and, using a weld nut as a backer, attach all these accessories. Picatinny was kind of the standard for the longest time, and still all over the world probably the most ubiquitous way to attach something to a firearm now. So you could attach a Picatinny rail or direct fit accessories. to their credit, the guys that came up with Keymod did Magpul, in my opinion, a service. They got the market hungry for that direct attach capability to kind of streamline the gun, reduce weight and complexity. And so Magpul took a look at that, and we had some concerns with strength, particularly in polymer. So instead of jumping on that bandwagon, we decided to, and that was right around the time I started at Magpul, maybe a couple years after, I think 2014. I've been here since 2012. We decided that we would evolve the Mo system and update that so you didn't need backside access, and standardize the spacing to be in line with 2 Picatinny slots as every increment you can move an M-LOK accessory. And it's a super strong system. It's very easy to use. And
it works. I can attest. It's excellent.
Yeah, we've definitely very well thought out. The designer who worked on that is still here, the guy that kind of spearheaded that, and brilliant guy, and just very well executed from the beginning. So we've definitely got a team of people to thank for M-LOK's success internally. But US SOCOM tested it against the other available systems, and that's open source. You can find it all over the internet. They publish the results through Crane, and M-LOK kind of won in a landslide, and ever since then, M-LOK's just been growing and growing. And I would say for the direct attachment systems is definitely about the last one standing at this point.
And Magpul, you guys, I don't know if you're aware, but we actually reached out to Magpul. We have an organization here that I actually work for, San Diego County Gun Owners, and every year we have our Second Amendment celebration dinner. And this year we're expecting 800 people to come to our Second Amendment celebration dinner, which we're very proud of. This is going to be our 5th. And we reached out to Magpul and said, hey, we usually like to do some prizes here. And you guys were generous enough to donate some prizes, and I'm very, very thankful for that. I appreciate you guys doing that. I'm not sure if you were aware of that, but a big thank you to Magpul for supporting us like that.
We are happy to do it. I can't keep up with all of them. We support a number of good causes, but whenever a good one comes up, we usually don't say no. San Diego is very near and dear to my heart. I was there for 8 weeks in 2018. I got injured when I was in the military before I was at Magpul, and I came out there to a place called the Brain Treatment Center right there by Balboa Park to do 2 months of rehab. And I would come back to San Diego in a heartbeat, except I would have to get rid of most of my guns, I think, to do so.
And that's something I actually want to talk about. We want to keep you into the next segment. John, can you stay with us for another segment?
I got all the time you need.
Excellent. All right, stay with us. We're going to go to a commercial real quick, John.
All right, folks, this is Gun Sports Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
Welcome back to Gun Sports Radio, educating you on your Second Amendment rights. Now, here are your hosts of Gun Sports Radio, Dave Stahl, Joe Germisi, and Michael Schwartz on The Answer San Diego.
All right, folks, welcome back. You're listening to Gun Sports Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
Folks, thousands of pandemic panic buyers just found out what San Diego shooters already knew. A.O. Sword Firearms in El Cajon has the widest selection of guns in the county. A.O. Sword has hundreds of different new and used guns and everything you could want for an AR-15. Whether you're looking for the latest competition rifle, combat pistol, or collectible cowboy iron, you'll find it all at A.O. Sword. They are also professional gunsmiths with a full machine shop. They can clean, repair, upgrade, or even customize your gun, including Cerakote. A.O. Sword Firearms is at 929 East Main Street, just off Mollison in El Cajon. Best of all, they are friendly, informed, and actively support your rights. See for yourself with their legal and technical updates on Facebook. Check them out at aosword.com or call direct at 619-749-4867. All right.
All right, we're talking to John, who's the Senior Product Manager at Magpul, one of my favorite companies. And John, have you ever had Dirty Deeds by AC/DC be your lead-in music before?
No, I think this is a first.
Excellent. So, John, you were talking about your service in the military, and thank you so much. I appreciate your service very much. And you were talking about Magpul and some of the products that you've designed. I wanted to touch on a little bit. We started to just kind of get into the political organization, San Diego County Gun Owners, and I wanted to find out. So, Magpul recently moved. Is that accurate?
We did. The move was spread out over a couple of years. We committed to the move in 2013, and I think late 2014 the move was complete.
And first off, you moved from where to where?
So we moved the majority of the company from Colorado. We were all centralized in one location, due north of Denver 10 miles, due east of Boulder 10 miles. And Colorado decided in a knee-jerk reaction to some of the very unfortunate shootings we had in America at the time, that they were going to implement a magazine ban. And being that is our bread and butter, as it were, they very much did not want us to move because it generated a tremendous amount of tax revenue for them, but they didn't want us to be able to sell our products here. And we were not okay with that. So good for you guys. I can't. This is exactly what the story I wanted you to tell, and I can't tell you how happy I am that you guys made that decision. Good for you. Yeah, we took our money to Texas and Wyoming, where we've gotten the outpouring of support we've gotten from both of those states has been unbelievable. Can't say enough good stuff about Texas or Wyoming in particular. Being a state, Boulder has more residents than Wyoming total, but the efforts Wyoming's gone through to move firearms manufacturers into that state and give them a safe haven to conduct business without any kind of punitive political actions against them and, worrying about your job security from day to day. Is the state going to try to do something to shut us down? We do not have it certainly in those places. So and if there's some weight off of us, if there's something you can't talk about, then by all means tell me. There's, I can't really talk about that. But when the laws started getting passed in Colorado and you guys started talking about, hey, we're going to move. When you say they didn't want you to move, were these state legislators who said, hey, yeah, we're going to pass this horrible law, but, gee, we really don't want you to move because we're going to miss out on the tax revenue? Or what did that actually look like? Did they actually call you guys up and say, hey, let's see if we can figure this out? Or what did it look like? Absolutely. We were a big enough employer that we definitely had dialogue with politicians friendly to us and some that weren't. And you can probably still find it. We sent some of our longtime employees from all levels, the skilled labor we have in the warehouse up through the executive management team to actually testify in front of the state legislature. And then in the backside conversations, I don't want to name any names, but There were some very prominent top level Colorado politicians who well, we don't want you guys to leave. Like, no, it's not. You don't care if we stay. You just want to keep the money coming in. And we were not okay with that. Our founder was not okay with that. And we decided to, literally take our business elsewhere. Good. And, I'm glad you did. And so nothing left in Colorado. You guys closed up shop there and went to Texas and Wyoming, and that's it. How many employees are you? I don't know. If you're not, you don't want to disclose something, but how many employees do you guys have? We've got hundreds of employees, and we do still have a, full disclosure. We had people that family circumstances and people we wanted to retain in the company that we didn't want to lose, and we do still have a small footprint. We didn't want to abandon the people in Colorado who were good to us when at the state level they weren't being. So we do still have a small footprint in Colorado, single-digit percentages easily of the company, but we've got some people in Colorado still that we call a regional support facility, but the bulk of the company is in Wyoming and Texas. I know, I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Everybody I talked to and when it was happening, they appreciate it. We're glad that you made a stand and said, you know what, we're not okay with this, and made the change. I really want to commend you guys on doing that. So back to the really fun stuff, though. So you guys make a ton of products. I love your products. They're all high quality. I really, truly, you can find them in local shops. You can buy them online. There's a lot of different ways to get a hold of Magpul stuff. But what's in the future? What are you guys looking at developing? Is there an area you guys are going to head into that you're not in currently, or what's the future look like for Magpul?
There's always opportunity to diversify into things we're not currently, markets we're not currently in, and areas, sporting specific, that aren't necessarily firearms related. Certainly more firearms expansion. You can always count on that. That core business that is Magpul, we're never going to leave. The overarching theme of what we do at Magpul is giving the customer an excellent value proposition, where to get the same level of performance, if it is even available, you've got to pay a lot more for it. So bang for your buck is what everything we do boils down to. And as new platforms are released or people gravitate to certain firearms, we're always evaluating the opportunities to make more products in the firearm space. Right now, we have dozens of products currently in development that are going to be new and unique and do something with the products before them, whether we made them or someone else didn't offer the customer. So you definitely expect to see more AR accessories, more bolt gun accessories. And we're just going to keep on going down the road until hopefully every gun part in the world says Magpul on it.
Well, I really like your handguards. They're mine because I bought them, but I really like the Magpul handguards I have on my AR. I really, I was rebuilding my AR, and I just didn't like the big, heavy metal rails. I didn't have a need for it really, and it just was a little too bulky, and I just didn't like it. But I really like your synthetic Magpul handguards that I got, and it just solved every problem I had, and I'm just extremely happy with them. What's a product that you guys have that is your favorite, or something that just came out that maybe isn't getting enough attention, or what's a little favorite of yours, Jon?
We released a new stock a couple years ago called the SLS, and it's a storage variant of our Mo SL stock. And it's the most feature-rich carbine stock for a collapsible tube on the market. Doesn't matter if your tube's in spec or not. It's not going to have any wobble on it. It's watertight battery storage, great butt pad on it, great sling mounting options, and that's always the one that when I look at it, like that's the best stock. That I'm pretty objective. I have this basement. I'm surrounded by other people's gun parts, and there's a lot of good ones out there. We're by no means the only company that makes good stuff, but that product in particular is so advanced over what it competes with. So the SLS stock, I would have to say, is my personal, I think, underrated product in our product line.
Do you ever wonder if the AR, you guys are, I would think it's fair to say you guys are heavily invested in the AR platform. Do you ever wonder if its days are numbered, or how much longer? Or do you ever look at another product and think, oh geez, are we all gonna jump on that bandwagon? Or, what's the future, or is there a fear of the future for the AR?
I don't see it going anywhere. With the ease of modification, it's easy to shoot. It's got so much going for it. I really think the metallic case cartridge is going to keep the AR alive. I don't think we're going to see anything displace that. I think the next great leap is going to come from ammo, not from rifles. So,
wow, you're talking when you said metallic case, you think are you talking like the gel casing, or what are your thoughts on what would be the next leap, or explain that a little bit more?
There's hybrid polymer case. There's caseless. The caseless concept's been around forever. The HKG11 and case telescopic is another thing that's been kind of in the background of development for a long time. But I think as long as we're working with the standard primer, brass cartridge, projectile, and powder arrangement we've got now, I don't think we're going to see a huge leap in firearms technology until what we shoot out of them changes.
Interesting. All right. Well, awesome. I got to tell you, I'm really thrilled that we got you on here. I personally, I don't know if you can tell or not, I'm a big fan of Magpul.
Really?
I'm so glad you guys are, helping to make our dinner special. And I just appreciate you spending time with us, Jon. Give everybody your website and tell them what they do. You sell directly from the website, or should they go to their local shop, or what do you think they should do?
We do. We will meet the customer wherever they want to be met. We've got probably the largest distribution network with into your local gun shop, probably of any company, and that's a great place for you to go get hands on a product. Cabela's and Bass Pro and Shields all have Magpul product available in them. Our website, we certainly sell direct, magpul.com. Any social media, we're at Magpul on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, probably some others that I'm too old to, my kids would know. Yeah, Magpul, we've been very fortunate to have a great customer base and network of supporters that we're not too hard to find, and that's a good thing for us and the customer, we hope.
Awesome.
Well, I tell you what, Jon, quality generates sales, and that's the key, and I think you found it. So thank you very much for taking time out of your day to call us in. You can now leave the bunker.
All right. Thanks for having me.
All right, folks. This is FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
All right, folks. Welcome back. You are listening to Gun Sports Radio on FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
Brandon, you are going to put a smile on this guy's face like nobody.
I feel like let's bust out the lava lamps and the bean bags,
man. Far out, dude. Hey, what's the best defense for self-defense in those horrible new red flag laws? Firearms legal protection. Mike and I use them. So does Joe. Firearms legal protection is the legal defense program for lawful gun owners with a 24/7 emergency hotline and plans designed specifically for the firearms owner. Talk to the good folks at Firearms Legal Protection today. That's Firearms Legal Protection at firearmslegal.com, or call them direct at 469-310-9100. That's 469-310-9100. Firearmslegal.com. Gun owners, be ready with a lawyer in your corner. This segment is brought to you by the Gun Range San Diego. I call it the Nordstrom's of gun ranges, just not the price, but the service is definitely Nordstrom. 7853 Balboa Avenue in San Diego. You need to check these guys out Sunday through Thursday, 10 to 7, and 10 to 10 on Friday and Saturday. Go to thegunrangesandiego.com, thegunrangesandiego.com. You know, he wasn't even born when that song came out.
I wasn't even born when that song came out. We're not going to play the drum solo? We don't have that kind of time.
Oh. It's 17 minutes long.
It's 17 minutes long. Hey, I was alive during that song. That's why I had a hard time keeping a straight face.
I need a black light in here, though.
Trust me, brother. Hey, we got Jason Stevens on the line. Are you old enough to know that song?
Oh, I didn't hear the song. What was it?
Anagata DeVita.
Yeah.
Iron Butterfly.
I know the song, but yeah, it's definitely before my time.
I have the album, gentlemen, so don't even start.
The album.
I do.
I got it on vinyl.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's cool.
I got more vinyl than I know what to do with, but that's okay. I'm never getting rid of it. So what do you got for us? Oh, yeah, we're going to ask you a question.
I was going to ask. So we had, I don't know if you were listening, but we just had the senior product developer senior product manager from Magpul. We just did a couple of segments talking about Magpul and some of their cool products and everything they've been up to. What's your favorite Magpul product? Give us your opinion on Magpul and what
do you sell it?
Well, Magpul's got great stuff. Besides the magazines, the Magpul PMags are probably the toughest mags. Definitely the best mags for the money out there, I would say. As far as their accessories for ARs and AKs, I'm a big fan. I'm the big AK guy, and I had a what's it called? It's called the Magpul Zhukov stock for the AK. That was really cool. I had the forend, the handguard. But yeah, Magpul makes great products.
So you recommend them? When people come in, do you normally recommend Magpul stuff?
Yeah, Magpul is one of the absolute go-to, first brand for accessories for ARs and AKs that you think of, especially magazine-wise.
Yeah, I bought. Remember Freedom Week?
Right. Oh yeah.
I bought a 60. Yeah, I bought a 60. Their 60-round drum mag for my AR. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That was the right thing to do. A lot of people here wishing they did, but yeah. Well, lately we got a couple new rentals. That's pretty cool. We're going into revolver territory a little bit more right now, since getting semi-auto pistols is getting really hard. So we have a Smith & Wesson 686 Plus and a Smith & Wesson Model 60 Ladysmith, which is a fantastic concealed carry revolver out on the range. Brand new rentals just today.
Nice. What are they? Those both? What caliber are they?
They're both .357 Magnum revolvers. One's a 6-inch, kind of a longer outdoor. It's a great fun shooting gun. And the Model 60 is a 2-inch defensive revolver, kind of a snub-nosed revolver, but like a really nice version of one. The Ladysmith is extra nice. It's got a much nicer wood grip. It's polished and everything, and the gun actually has a smoother action.
You want to hear something crazy? I'm intimidated by revolvers. I'll just admit it. I'll be a man and admit I'm intimidated by revolver. Joe just started getting into revolvers, and I'm totally comfortable with a semi-automatic, with Glock, and totally comfortable. But I'm intimidated by revolvers. I guess because I just am not as experienced. Joe, you just started picking up revolvers, right?
Yeah, you haven't tried it yet. That's the thing. I tried it one time. The first time I picked one up and shot it, I thought, I got to have this. And I got one about 2 months later.
Well, I have one. I have a 1990 Colt Army. One of their commemorative Colt Army in 45. And then I had a 38. I had a Smith & Wesson little 38 that was my dad's for years. But that thing had a tendency to bite me. There was some kind of little groove in the trigger, and it would bite me, so I didn't really shoot it that much. But I'm a little intimidated by revolvers, but they're extremely useful and reliable.
Why?
I think I just need more trigger time. I think I need somebody to go. I took classes.
Hey, I know a range.
Yeah.
It's called San Bernardino County Gun Owners.
There you go. The gun range San Diego.
And I bet you they've even got some revolvers in their rental fleet.
Well, that's exactly where we're going. But I think it's just a matter of, I've taken classes with semi-automatics, and that's how you get comfortable. I've never taken a class with a revolver, and I think that speaks a lot. I think I'm extremely comfortable with a firearm, but I haven't taken the professional training.
Well, it's like driving a stick shift over an automatic.
Yeah, exactly.
Really, when you come right down to it.
That's a good analogy.
Most people are scared to death to drive a stick shift. Just scared to death. And I think you should
do it a few times.
I think you should try now, right. And that brings up a good point, Jason. If let's say he comes in and you didn't know him from Adam, and he explained to you that he was a little intimidated by a revolver. What revolver in your rental fleet would you recommend?
So the latest, the Smith Model 60 would be a great defensive option. It's just much nicer model. Like if Mercedes made a revolver, that's what it would be. It's really nice, real classy, smooth action. They're just really nice, real simple. They're definitely a different animal. They require a different level of trigger discipline to fire correctly in double action. But other than that, it's just a different animal. Like you said, it's kind of like driving stick versus driving automatic. It's just a lot more. It's a much more visceral experience, and really, it is kind of a style choice. But I like them a lot. I tend to shoot really well with them.
Right.
I feel like there's a comeback too. I feel like revolvers are headed into a comeback. Is that just me, or is that happening?
Right now, that is happening because so many pistols are out of stock.
Yeah.
So
I was going to say
more people are turning to revolvers. And, of course, we got the Smith Model 60, the 686. We've got the, the 586, the 638s, the 442s. All those, especially right now, the defensive snub nose revolvers are very, very, they're really picking up speed and popularity.
So, Jason, what on the roster do you have more of? Are there more revolvers or are there more semi-automatics on the roster?
It's actually pretty hard to say. There are a lot more. That's a good question. More revolvers. I would say more. It's geez, I'm not even sure.
I'm stumping your nephew. You don't win a hat.
I do think that if you go in to buy, I think what we're really asking is, if someone says, I think I'm not sure if I want to do a revolver or a semi-automatic. I think what Dave's saying is you probably have more choices when it comes to revolvers. There are more revolvers out there available than Is that fairly accurate, or is it about 50-50?
Yeah, I want to say it's closer to 50-50. There are probably more semi-auto pistols. Really? Probably not by a whole lot, though. There are a lot of you can buy a lot of different Taurus revolvers in California, but you can't buy any of their pistols. Situations like that. Smith & Wesson, you can buy, like a couple different Smith & Wesson pistols, but you can buy a ton of their revolvers. So it's hard to say. And then other manufacturers, of course, don't make revolvers. So I would say your revolver selection in California is still looking pretty good.
Is Dirty Harry legal in California?
The California legal version is.
Say what?
I used to collect Smith revolvers. I'm a big fan of that stuff. That Model 29. Yeah, there's a sort of a California OK model for the Smith Model 29. It's called the 29 Classic. Real nice gun.
I love the sound of that
big gun.
Well, something that David mentioned a couple of weeks ago that I wasn't aware of too is on the roster there tends to be a lot of Smith & Wessons. There's Rugers, but there are not a lot of Colt revolvers on there for some reason. Which is surprising.
So there are no Colt. Colt can't buy anything from Colt in California except for a few. There's like the King Cobra, the Cobra. There's the what is it?
But no new Python.
It was the King Cobra. Yeah, that new Python I don't think is on the roster yet, but I'd sure like to see one. But Ruger, it's almost all revolvers. Smith & Wesson, almost all revolvers.
That's interesting.
But that's what those companies are really known for, just building really, really tough guns.
All right, buddy. Well, hey, are you at work today?
I sure am.
Well, then get back at it. Have some fun.
Yes,
and hopefully folks will come down. You're there till 10 o'clock tonight?
7 o'clock.
Oh, 7 o'clock.
Sunday through Thursday, and 10 to 10 Friday and Saturday. All
right, buddy. Well, folks, go down, have some fun, shoot some targets, and listen to Gun Sports Radio on the way. This is FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
This program is sponsored by Dave Stahl.